Someone could be sabotaging a new love coming into your life on today's Oblyron divination. Greetings everyone, I am Oblyron, Lord of the Underworld and consort to the most lovely Hecate. Thank you for joining me on today's elemental synastry reading. It is a divination technique which was gifted to me by the goddess upon our sacred marriage. It involves the tarot, the 5 elements, and astrology. Now this is a timeless collective reading, so take what resonates and discard what doesn't. And as always, make sure to use tarot to confirm what you already intuitively understand and not take it as literal advice. So I draw a tarot card to see what is influencing each of the elements, and the first element that we have is spirit, which is represented by the bell. So what is influencing spirit, love? Okay, all right, we have the 4 of Wands. So the 4 of Wands is the Lord of perfected work. It is when it could be considered a celebration, it could be considered a marriage, a union of some type. But it's generally a cause or a time for sort of knowing that we've arrived, knowing that we have succeeded, and knowing that, you know, there are festivities on the way, there's good times on the way. A very auspicious card. And basically what Spirit is saying is that something very, very beneficial to us is about to manifest. Something is already forming in the ethers, which will ultimately come to us to a point in which we know that we have accomplished what we set out to do. That, you know, it could be a new relationship, it could be moving into a new place. There's actually quite a variety of things which it could represent. And I try not to read too much into the spirit reading first, just to see what, to see what some of the other elements are saying. But what I will do is roll the astrology die, and it usually represents either the likely outcome or the advice. So this says it's Uranus and Sagittarius in the 7th house. All right, so okay, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so now we're getting some Libra energy thrown into there, which is suggesting that it could be more related to perhaps a new relationship. All right, let's see. So Uranus and Sagittarius in the 7th house. And I roll first for the house, and I roll again for the decan. Okay, so we are in the 3rd decan. Okay, so that 3rd decan of Sagittarius is the Lord of Oppression. It's that 10 of Wands energy, and with Uranus thrown in there, also within the house of Libra, it is suggesting that there is something which perhaps, with Uranus's rebellious energy coming in, there is something that is suggesting that we need to let go of a burden, that we need to shake things up a little bit. And yeah, we're also getting that Libra energy, and we're also getting that 4 of Wands energy. So yeah, definitely something in our interpersonal relationships, and this could even be with peers. It's not always necessarily a romantic interest, but something in our interpersonal relationships needs to be shaken up. Something is happening which is kind of holding us back in truly allowing this Four of Wands energy to really manifest, to really to bring in those more celebratory aspects of the Four of Wands. And yeah, it's definitely saying to release a burden of some type. Perhaps there are some things that need to be said. Perhaps there are some things that need to be addressed. And again, this has to deal with the people in our lives, not necessarily an inward reflection. So this may not resonate for everyone, and that's okay. Or this could totally resonate with some people. Let's see what else the elements have to say. So the next element that we go on to is the element of fire. Represents our drives, ambitions. Wands are a very focused and directed energy. And I'm very curious to see what it recommends, especially with this change that needs to happen within our spirit. Okay. The Fool. Yeah, very interesting. So we have this Uranus energy, which is saying essentially to release the burden. And we also have the Fool, which is telling our fire energy to basically begin to embark on a new sort of path. Maybe refocusing, redirecting our drives, maybe redirecting our ambitions. If you happen to be interpreting this as, let's say, a romantic connection, it could also suggest even redirecting those types of energies as well. Starting on a new quest, so to speak. So very interesting. Okay, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. All right, so we have Saturn in Cancer in the second house. All right. And let's re-roll for the decan. 1. All right. Yeah, so that first decan of Cancer, the Lord of Love, definitely is starting to hint at a new type of love interest, especially with this Libra energy up here saying to shake things up. Yeah, it could very well be that there is perhaps maybe someone resonates with having their sights set on a new love interest or whatnot. That Saturnian energy mixed in with the energy of the second house would suggest a little bit of prudence and discretion, so especially with Saturn. So on one hand, we have the element of fire and the Fool card saying to basically take that leap forward. But then on the other hand, we have Saturn saying, well, make sure that it's what we really want. And yeah, especially thrown in with that second house energy, there could be some concerns with maybe perhaps having the resources in finances to start a new relationship. It could very well be a concern. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Make sure to also take that in consideration too, and really kind of do that searching and say, okay, is this really what I want, and is this in my highest and best interests? On one hand, we have we have a lot of energies which is saying to sort of shake things up. We have a lot of energies which is also suggesting to really just sort of move on and embark on new prospects. But also it's not completely without let's say reckless abandon. So for some people, you know, they could be in a relationship and they may be eyeing someone new, and that's what the Saturnian aspect is saying. You know, really think long and hard about this and make sure that it's what you want. Is the grass going to be greener on the other side, or are there things which can be addressed to work on the previous relationship? So yes, all right, let's move along. So the next element is the element of air, which is represented by the swords. It can represent our intellectual pursuits, our communication, many of these types of things. It also represents the throat chakra, so our words. All right, let's see. What is influencing the element of air? Okay, so we have the inverted Five of Wands, and that would suggest that the sort of hemming and hawing, the sort of, you know, the strife, the conflict is coming to an end. So whatever is happening with this potential new relationship, the decision has already kind of been made in a certain way. Perhaps lines of communication are already starting to open. Perhaps you know, especially with that sort of that air energy, that intellectual pursuit is not necessarily just about reading books or whatnot. It can also be, you know, that sort of daydreaming energy a little bit when someone is kind of preoccupied in your thoughts and in your mind. So yeah, it seems like the ball is already rolling on whatever this potential prospect could be, or whatever the decision that needs to be made within the previous relationship is. Let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Okay. So we have the moon in Aquarius in the 5th house. All right. And let's re-roll for the decan. 8. Okay. So we're in that middle decan of Aquarius. That's the Lord of Earned Success. And it's that 6 of Swords energy. Basically, yeah, it seems very much that whatever's happening, the path is already starting to be set in where we want to go. It's in Leo, or I should say it's in the 5th house, so it's definitely that solar energy, that sun energy of really sort of embracing what we want and who we are. And yeah, it seems like the decision has already been made. We have the moon influencing that too, which means that on the emotional levels, on the deep reflection levels, it feels like it's the right decision as well. Whatever path we may be taking, it feels very reinforced. It feels very much like this is what needs to happen, and there's almost there's definitely a sense of resolution when it comes to this. Yeah, let's move along. Let's see what is in the realm of Pentacles, or the element of Earth. So the Earth, or I should say Pentacles, can represent our spiritual wealth. They can represent our material wealth, the acquisition of things. the foundation, the structures of the foundation, all of those types of things, the solid ground we stand on. All right, and here we have the Three of Pentacles. So, yeah, we're definitely starting to be recognized for the works that we are feeling. It's an acknowledgement for what we've done. It is, yeah, it's a type of it's knowing that we are. It's knowing that we are on the right path. Perhaps there could be other people in the situation involved who are also encouraging us to sort of go down whatever decision that we choose. Yeah, it's like starting to be recognized. It's starting to be like I said, recognized for what we have already accomplished. And it also, especially with that Pentacles energy there, and with the Swords energy, with that air energy, it definitely is sort of cementing the decision that needs to be made. It is definitely reinforcing everything of what we need to do. And so, yeah, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Okay, so we have Uranus again in Sagittarius again in the second house. All right, so lots of Uranus energy, lots of Sagittarius energy. Let's see what decan we're in. Okay, so we're in the third decan. All right. Wow. Okay, so just like the Four of Wands energy we have here, we also have the same Uranus in the Lord of Oppression decan as well, that third decan of Sagittarius. Third decan here, third decan here. And they're both influenced by Uranus. So it's really suggesting that things need to be shaken up within our lives. There's sort of this dramatic change which almost needs to happen. And in our interpersonal relationships, and this reading's starting to really unfold. With all of this, it's saying that yes, it is time for a new beginning. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so it's that expansion, and basically we need that energy of Uranus to come in and basically shake off all that which does not serve us anymore, so that we can expand into this Four of Wands energy. We can expand into that Lord of Perfected Work, and we can expand into all these energies, with the conflict being over in our air, with the Lord of Material Works in our Pentacles, and of course embarking on a new journey with the Fool. Definitely a lot of rebellion in this in this reading. There's whatever we're doing right now, we cannot continue to do that, because we feel that it is oppressive. We feel that it no longer serves us. It's like outgrowing something that is that's sort of antiquated. And basically what this reading is saying is that it's okay to move on from beyond that. Don't feel stuck. Don't feel like you have to carry around the Ten of Wands. Stop carrying around that oppressive energy. Stop beating yourself up over a lot of these things, because really it's about just letting go, especially with this Full energy, it's really about just about letting go and embarking on that new quest. This is where our fire wants to take us. And as I'm reading this now, some of these Saturnian aspects of saying the discretion, I don't quite see that as much anymore. I think it's more of it's more like we have the material discipline to be able to embark on this, especially with this Three of Pentacles energy influencing the Pentacles. So we're really sort of poised to embark on a new adventure. Also, the reading doesn't quite feel so much of a romantic reading, although it could still definitely, for sure, be interpreted that way. But it also feels like it's just sort of a letting go of what's keeping us from really flourishing. It seems like, especially with some of these readings right here. This is the Lord of earned success, and it's saying that, okay, well, we've earned the success of really understanding ourselves and getting rid of those unnecessary conflicts and that strife within ourselves. This right here is also saying, we need things to shake it up. I mean, we're already getting recognized. We already feel like we have somewhat of a foundation growing. Others can sense it. So, really, it's okay. It's okay to let go. And of course, the Fool influencing the element of fire is saying just that too. All right, let's move along to the last element, which is water, that is represented by the cups. It can represent our intuition, our emotions, the nebulous depths of our own mysticism and whatnot. All right. Okay, love, what is influencing the element of water? Inverted Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So, we basically have all of these elements telling us that it is time to release the burdens and it is time to let go. But on an emotional level, we may be feeling a delay in that. So something is holding us back from sort of really stepping into that energy. And that also is making more sense of why Uranus is popping in with these two elements, especially with that Ten of Wands energy for both of those. It's saying that, yes, we do need to shake things up. That is going to be the only way to really break out of this. So, I mean, again, this is one of those times when I say, use these readings to confirm what you already intuitively know and not advice. But if this is being interpreted as a relationship, then what it is suggesting here is, to get out of that situation. And again, not to be taken as literal advice. I'm not a marriage counselor or any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, we have all this stuff which is saying that we have so much going for us, and we could have so much more going for us. We have all this expansion waiting for us if we can break out of our comfort zone, if we could find it within ourselves to go on that new journey. And we even have the resources to do it as well. So let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Okay. So we have the Sun in Aquarius in the 3rd house. Okay. Let me move some of this around. And let's re-roll for the decan. Okay. So we have the first decan of Aquarius in the... Oh, wrong one. In the third house. Okay. And let me move this out of the way. Yeah. Yeah, this would actually make a lot of sense. So that first decan of Aquarius is the Lord of Defeat. It would suggest that on an emotional level, you know, we have felt some level of defeat, maybe a recent type of defeat, something which is leading to us being held back in our emotions and in our attitudes, and being able to move on with this Wheel of Fortune energy. When the Wheel of Fortune is upside down, it usually represents some type of delay. It could also represent, maybe fortunes are not going in our favor, but I don't quite get that from this, especially with everything else being so positive. It more feels like emotionally we are feeling blocked or delayed or something. And yeah, that's the sun energy influencing that first decan of Aquarius. So we could have taken a hit to our egos, a hit to our identity, especially with it being in the third house with Gemini. Yeah, perhaps Gemini could also be the energy. It's not just about communication, but it could also be the energy of, let's say, siblings. So, maybe there was a sibling or someone very close to us who was kind of affecting us on an emotional level, maybe kind of putting doubt into what we're feeling, which definitely can happen sometimes. But I think it's important to remember that, especially with everything else that is happening within this reading, that ultimately for our own emotions and for our own well-being, we need to really follow our own hearts, follow ourselves, especially with that solar energy there. The sun, and of course, we even have more sun represented in this fifth house Leo right here. So a lot of it is saying to just really trust ourselves and really embrace our own individuality and uniqueness, to being able to heal ourselves on that emotional level. I think once this sort of energy is cleared up on the emotional level, it'll allow the rest of it to kind of fall into place. Usually a lot of times with these readings, it's generally, in a reading like this, it's one of the elements which is kind of holding us back, or it's that thing which needs to be addressed to really help the others fall into place. And for this reading, it's definitely the Cups energy. So it's addressing that doubt, probably a doubt from someone else too. Like I said, that Gemini is about communication energies. So, someone close to us in our life could be sowing the seeds of doubt in us. And, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, we're all responsible for our own decisions, and we're also responsible for our own happiness. And when there's a reading where the rest of the elements are saying that, it's kind of pointing us in one direction, but, maybe someone else might be pointing us in another direction, well, we really need to address that. We're the only ones that have to face ourselves at the end of the day. So where does, so we're all responsible for our own happiness. Let's see. Yeah, we got... No, this is just off. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we have an inconjunction between Spirit and Pentacles. And yeah, that's really interesting because it's both influenced by Uranus and the Ten of Wands energy. So I would say that inconjunction is really being caused by carrying those burdens. That's really what is forming this energy to sort of be stagnant. And it's no coincidence that, you know, they both have the same planet and they both have the same decan of Sagittarius. So yeah, release those burdens. You know, Spirit wants us to be happy. Spirit wants us to be the Lord of perfected work. Not only for ourselves, but also in our interpersonal relationships, in that Libran energy, the energy of Libra. Same thing with this Taurus energy here, and the Three of Pentacles. I mean, both of the Three of Pentacles and the Four of Wands are very sort of positive cards, and especially with the Three of Pentacles. In Pentacles, you know, we have so much going for us. You know, Spirit is saying, you know, so much happiness is coming towards you, and as well as the Three of Pentacles, it's also saying, you know, you're already filled with abundance, so much that other people can recognize your abundance. I mean, maybe that's why, you know, we have this sort of Lord of Defeat in waters here, with this who is ever influencing our emotions. You know, they could see that abundance. They could be the one who's probably envious or jealous, and maybe they are consciously or unconsciously sabotaging us. Yes, not everyone close to us always has our best intentions at heart. That's a difficult lesson to learn, but it's a very true lesson. You know, those closest to us can also be our saboteurs. So, but here, especially with this reading, I would say that the truth is definitely coming out. You know, we need that rebellion to happen here within that the guiding planet of Uranus. It's saying that something needs to happen. It needs to sort of have its tower moment, so that we can break free from what's keeping us held down, from what is keeping us oppressed. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, that's about it for now, I think. Yeah. Maybe... Nope. Yeah, so it's really that inconjunct energy, which is really... the inconjunct energy with the energy of this... of water, which is really sort of the sort of quagmire of our problems. And by addressing those emotional issues, and by addressing the fact that we need this sort of rebellious energy to enter into our pentacle and spirit energy, definitely will help clear this up. It'll help to get this fire energy going. It'll help to get the quest of the Fool going, the quest of the new adventures. And of course, that's the first decan of Cancer there, so it will help to get the quest of new love entering into our lives. Same thing with this. You know, we know on an intellectual and communicative level that we, in a very deep emotional level, that we need to just be ourselves and to let that inner light shine within us, that sun shine within us. The sun is coming up with Leo. The sun is coming up in the emotions. So yeah, really embrace that. Really embrace who we are, to be able to move past a lot of all this. Let's see. What else do we have? Okay, well, I think I'll be switching this over to the extended on Discord. If you're interested in that, yeah, drop by my Discord to the extended readings there. It's free for the first 100 people to sign up for it, and after that, the extended readings will only be available through subscription. So, thank you all for joining us today on this reading. If you've resonated with it, feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment letting us know how you've resonated with this reading. And yeah, hope to see you at the next one. So, may Hecate illuminate your path and guide you at the crossroads.